We've all been there. You've just gone to a certain place, at a certain time, on a certain date, done a special thing, and the thing you suspected would happen has just fucking happened. Not to mention the fact you've just seen whatever the fuck it is that lives in your mirror, been told in detail you're gonna die, and the highly demonic and invincible thing you summoned is heading towards you. Also, your family are all dead. Your friends are all missing, and you're being framed by someone with access to your bedroom. What the fuck do you do now, sweet protagonist? Well, you've come to the right place to find out. These are the simple rules one must follow in order to firstly not become the victim of creepypasta, and furthermore to come out kicking if the worst does happen. With the help of the guide, you too can be merely a catatonic, traumatized wreck as opposed to the guy currently being worn as a coat by some dude who roams a lot. Just keep these simple rules in mind. 1. Mirrors and darkness don't mix. 2. Actually, mirrors are a general no in creepypasta world. There is nothing more sinister. 3. There is a 0 chance of survival if you look at the thing that no one else can see or answer its question incorrectly. 4. If you are alone at night in a creepy mental institution, take some time to consider what the fuck you're doing there, then, if it is appropriate to do so, leave. 5. Avoid going to places where everyone else who went there never came back or died inexplicably. 6. If someone stops your vehicle at night and asks to come with you, it would probably be in your best interest to politely decline. 7. Killing is the last method of survival. Use it sparingly, but without fear. 8. Whose phone is always a good thing to ponder. Also, who in the hell answers the phone while kissing a dead person's sexy daughter? A douche, that's who. 9. Get a simple .38 revolver, loaded with 2 bullets. If you really feel there is no chance to come out alive out of a situation, take one shot at whatever it is that's threatening you. If this doesn't work, you still have the last shot to become a tragic hero with. 10. Area 51 is simply too well guarded to let you in, or to let any alien out. 11. When going to a hotel, try to steer clear of unauthorized areas. If you couldn't resist, but you saw a red thing, take some time to consider the price range and hotel standard on your next visit. Have you ever stayed at a haunted Hilton? 12. When booking your hotel stay, TripAdvisor can be an invaluable tool in deeming whether your choice is the scene of a multiple murder, full of dead people, or built to the mouth of hell. Local newspapers can also be helpful. 13. Invoking demons, speaking weird languages, and performing rituals of any kind is considered dangerous. Refrain from doing that, especially around abandoned warehouses, churches, psychiatric institutions, woods, and your house in front of a mirror at night. 14. When going to a new area, environmental understanding is a key to survival. Ask around for cursed places, legends, dangers, and other details. Listen to the local people's advice, and don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure of which attacks and disappearances are paranormal and which aren't. 15. Always have a Bible next to your bed. Provides average reading material, proof of beliefs, and a really heavy and effective object to throw at enemies. Don't count on holy water. Get a sturdy vial of sulfuric acid and let a priest consecrate it. Japanese priests cleanse rooms by waving katana swords around. Their ritual is 100% effective on corporeal forms. 18. If you find 666 messages on your phone, mailbox, email, etc., consider changing the said service provider. Also, don't bother listening to or reading any of the messages. It's spam. Extra-dimensional possibly, but spam nonetheless. 19. Old pharmaceutical companies can't help you unless you specifically need blood of the innocent, snake oil, or radioactive syrup, which is never. 11. When going to a hotel, try to steer clear of unauthorized areas. If you couldn't resist, but you saw a red thing, take some time to consider the price range and hotel standard on your next visit. Have you ever stayed at a haunted Hilton? 12. When booking your hotel stay, TripAdvisor can be an invaluable tool in deeming whether your choice is the scene of a multiple murder, full of dead people, or built to the mouth of hell. Local newspapers can also be helpful. 13. Invoking demons, speaking weird languages, and performing rituals of any kind is considered dangerous. Refrain from doing that, especially around abandoned warehouses, churches, psychiatric institutions, woods, and your house in front of a mirror at night. 14. When going to a new area, environmental understanding is a key to survival. Ask around for cursed places, legends, dangers, and other details. Listen to the local people's advice, and don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure of which attacks and disappearances are paranormal and which aren't. 15. Always have a Bible next to your bed. Provides average reading material, proof of beliefs, and a really heavy and effective object to throw at enemies. Don't count on holy water. Get a sturdy vial of sulfuric acid and let a priest consecrate it. Japanese priests cleanse rooms by waving katana swords around. Their ritual is 100% effective on corporeal forms. 18. If you find 666 messages on your phone, mailbox, email, etc., consider changing the said service provider. Also, don't bother listening to or reading any of the messages. It's spam. Extra dimensional possibly, but spam nonetheless. 19. Old pharmaceutical companies can't help you unless you specifically need blood of the innocent, snake oil, or radioactive syrup, which is never. 20. If you need to sign it in blood, you do not need to sign it. All mainstream governing bodies will accept contracts signed in ink. Bear this in mind if offered details seem too good to be true. 21. Lighthouses are dangerous. Avoid them at all costs. If you work at a lighthouse, consider a career in insurance sales or veterinary care. Have you ever read Three Skulls and Key? There is simply no reason to listen to music that causes suicidal tendencies. 23. Or to watch films that have had strange or disastrous consequences. 24. If you like to plan ahead and have some money, buy your auntie and uncle a house in Bel Air. Nothing can harm you there, no matter how scared your mother is. 25. A secret, secluded, untouched places in old buildings are left untouched for a reason. Pioneers never say die, but they do in fact have an unusually high mortality rate. 26. Before you start swimming in ice-cold waters of a murky lake in the center of a dark forest at midnight, ask yourself, do you really want to travel to an ancient and terrifying city? If the answer is no, then stay at home instead and watch whatever quality programming is available on Cinemax, which means boobs. 27. On your 33rd birthday, try celebrating in a well-lit house with the company of others. 28. Refrain from using the one true name for anything. There is probably a reason people gave it a nick. 29. Watching TV static for long periods may be hazardous to your health. Try satellite TV or Freeview to combat this problem. Netflix and internet streaming are also effective. 30. Get a cat. Those furry little hairballs seem to perceive unnatural phenomenon better than us. And if desperate, simply throw it at whatever is about to get you. 31. Safety in numbers. If you're getting a bit too freaked out, grab a few friends, any and all firearms, and avoid the area in question. 32. Cemeteries are bad places, especially in smoking conditions and on Halloween. 33. Try not to close your eyes. Ever. If you must do so only briefly. If something has moved from its original location at the time it is taking you to blink, it is recommended that you do not blink again until you have dealt with said object. Fire is presumably the best method. 34. If you ever find an unmarked tape which contains the file extension .avi, even if it's your favorite kid show, do not under any circumstances watch that tape. Now if the extension is .mts, that is a different matter altogether. 35. If you hear chanting, run. Run until you're out of earshot. 36. If you are too old to play with dolls, you do not need to be anywhere near one of those creepy little fuckers. 37. Legends can offer valuable insight where not to go camping with friends. 38. When babysitting, ascertain the family's tastes and preferences to avoid being killed by poorly selected statues. Number 39. Even if you are certain that running will not save you, it is always best to try. 40. If you go to buy a used video game, whether it's at a game shop or garage sale, never ever buy one with a weird looking cartridge. This includes strange colors and ripped off labels with titles written in marker. The latter tends to happen more often than not. For the daring, don't just buy said game to become famous. Your chances of becoming an internet celebrity because of it can only work if you know how to program. You should also be highly suspicious of games priced too cheaply and bootlegs. 41. If you decide to buy the used game anyway, rip that son of a bitch out of your console the moment it starts acting funny and take a hammer to it. 42. If you ever see a strangely new looking doorway with a strange face on it on a building you swore you didn't see at first, and the building happens to be an old chateau, don't fucking open it. 43. It's probably best to refrain from looking up on Google the phrase huskies with grins. You'll just end up having to spread the word. 44. Never allow someone to take a picture of you with an outdated camera. If it's too late, your only bet is to gamble with death. Or just trap them in a photo. That works too. 45. Don't play with dolls if they come with a needle or a defect. Especially a defect. 46. Burn Ouija boards. But be sure to have one of those car fresheners handy. The real reason why spirits get pissed off is because of that foul aroma that it produces when burned. 47. Never confront animated puppets physically. Subdue them with spells or they'll come back with minions or in a real physical body. 48. If you find yourself unable to escape, dancing may ward off the entity. Doing the hokey pokey is known to ward off curious monsters, but you might have to do the moonwalk to deal with zombies. 49. If you're checking your computer for viruses and go too deep into System32, refrain from clicking on any .avi files. If you do not heed this warning, creepy videos on you, dude. 50. If you see old tapes containing the words happy or appy, pretend you never saw them. Just go on with your life. It'll just end up invoking some whacked out, coked up director of an old children's show, and you'll wind up having to pull some thanks for the ride shit to kill him. 51. If you buy a used camcorder and the previous owner left their tapes inside, refrain from watching the tape, no matter how tempting it may be. 52. Be careful when buying an old second-hand TV. 53. If you see a guy with both an incredibly large smile and black and white eyes, extricate yourself from the premises post haste. 54. Don't go to a friend's house and to bake cupcakes if they have random spurts of insanity. 55. Phone companies with low coverage are best avoided. 56. .exe files with strange names are not safe. Do not open them. 57. For the love of Neptune, turn off your fucking faucet when you're done with it. If you are told to not look 58. If you're told not to look behind you, it's better to do so unless you're against a wall. 59. Also, do not listen to anybody who tells you to go to sleep. It's better to run away. 60. If you see a tall man with tentacles, run. 61. Don't enter strange websites. 62. Don't enter strange places. 63. Not even strange videos. 64. If a woman who covers her mouth asks you if she is beautiful, tell her she's average. It will prevent her from slicing your mouth. 65. No good can ever come from owning a shiny Pokemon. 66. If you're an intern at a cartoon studio and you happen to be reviewing a new episode, make sure the episode is safe for work before viewing that shit. 67. Don't be so excited when being asked to look behind you, but don't take forever. No reason to keep certain death waiting. 68. Weird shit in Europe won't hurt you in the United States. Lead at the creeps, scarecrow, and the creepy dark. 69. Weird shit in the United States won't hurt you in Europe. Damn it. 70. Should you break Rule 54, there is always a chance of rescue. 71. If your brother is tired of noise, or if your close friend has a brother like that, refrain from going into his basement unless you want to be tortured, raped, and killed. Especially raped. Isn't that right, MCP? 72. If you buy a memory card and has saved data in it, delete all of the saves. 73. If you get a drawing of Sonic on a disc, and the only file on the disc is the .exe file called Sonic, don't play it. Destroy it, or a demonic being that looks like Sonic plushie will kill you. Might kill you. If you choose not to, he will scar you for life. 74. If you see what happens to a 12-year-old kid with black shorts, a gray bloody shirt, red shades, dark gray skin, and a maniac grin, do not, under any circumstances, piss him off. Unless you're Werepire. Or Brave. 75. Always be sure to download Sonic Roboblast 2 from the official website. 76. Even on Christmas, paranormal shit can happen. 77. Neighbors may have a darker side. If they do seem things that seem off for them, act normal. In addition to Rule 77, if you hear foreign voices from your body, that means you've been body jacked. 79. If you are an adult and notice that you are being stalked by a guy with a black suit, long arms, and no face, reach for the nearest child and throw him or her at him, and then run like hell. 80. If you are a child in the same situation, run like hell before said adult uses you to satisfy aforementioned beings craving hunger. If you do not manage to escape before the adult snags you, try bargaining with the Slender Man that the adult has more delicious flesh. 81. The Slender Man, said monster descripted in the last two tips, feeds on paranoia. If you remember Slender Man only wants a hug, he won't go after you. But if Slender Man does stalk you, run, man. 82. If all else fails, give Slender Man $20, and he should leave you alone. 83. Regularly check the back of your neck or base of your skull for soft bulbs that moves when you poke it to make sure that Worm Jeff hasn't picked you as his host. 84. If you are a police officer, state trooper, FBI agent, or any person of authority, and you have 2 days left until retirement, if you happen to notice anything suspicious or dangerous to health, get the fuck out of there immediately. If you are terrified about how the creepypasta 85. If you are terrified about how the Creepypasta Wiki members pasta is going to end, remember, it's specifically made so that anyone can add or change the story. If you want a happy ending or just a flat out ending, you have the power to do so. 86. If you are being chased by any creepypasta and you feel that you are 100% out of options, attempt to run wherever Stephen King is doing his next book signing. Your killer will be far too interested in trying to get an autograph to remember what they were doing there in the first place. If Stephen King is not in your general vicinity at the time, R.L. Stine is always available. 87. If you are a creepypasta reader and you feel like things are getting a little too real, take a break. 88. If you find a magic stick that lets you draw living creatures, don't draw yourself. You may be surprised how pissed off your creations can get at you. 89. If you wake up in the middle of the woods after having fallen asleep, listening to your own heartbeat, take notice that someone probably put you there. But don't call the police. Publish a book about it, and get a movie deal. 90. If you're being offered an orange by a demon, either don't take it, or follow the steps from Rule 89. 91. On the third day of the third month of every 33rd year, seal up all the openings to your house, unless you want to be eaten by an evil mist. 92. If you notice that you're being stalked by a screaming child in a skull mask, don't always assume the kid's evil. Just be sure to save the bunch of crunch should you have any. 93. When reminiscing about your favorite kids show on a message board, take a moment to consider if the episode where all the characters screamed their lungs out was real or not. Also take a moment to consider if the entire show was real or not. 94. When looking through mysterious blood-soaked pictures left in your mailbox, check to make sure you locked your door. 95. Remember, snowmen have feelings too. 96. Stitches is naked. Covering him with a towel will cause him to die. Do so. 97. If your friend disturbingly edits tapes, it's probably a good idea to never try to see him again. 98. If you keep finding broken glass in your home, check to see if the shards match the colors of the glass object that was broken. If they don't, run. 99. If Jeff the Killer shows up in your bedroom unarmed and invites you to follow him into his home, for God's sake, don't do it. $100. And, to make it an even 100, you should notice that your friend has suddenly developed a personality that's a mix between Heath Ledger's Joker and Beetlejuice. He or she is most likely inhabited. It would be best to keep clear of this person until they return to their normal, boring as fuck personality. 101. If you encounter a small creature that looks like a mutant four-armed baby with Jeff the Killer's face, don't listen to it. Not even if it offers you gold. 102. Stay far, far away from abandoned music parks. 103. Keep Jeff the Killer and Slenderman as far apart from each other as possible. Just trust us in this one. 104. If your son starts talking about some sort of doll from any game, do not play the fucking game. Take the gaming system and play baseball with it. 105. If you do play the game and later you hear any tapping at any place in your home, yell to your child to lock the door, jump from a window. It is wise to then light the house on fire and then jump from the window with your spouse. 106. If you hear of your local forest burning down and then you decide to turn off your television, sigh and then ask your spouse to check out the forest. When you convince them, if you see someone that was in the burning forest with no eyelids and a wide smile, leave. Just fucking leave. 107. Be atheist, or convert to any religion that isn't monotheism. So when a monster says, I am God, or an insane man says, God abandoned us, you will chuckle, since it's an overused cliche, instead of getting scared by your broken faith. Church always fails to save you from creepypasta, and the Bible is only as good as any other heavy object to throw, so there's no real benefit anyway. 108. Always think twice before doing something stupid. 109. If you hear howling in the forest and see a wolf thing flying, don't mess with him, unless you want a blood and flesh donation. Werepire. 110. If you find an abandoned house in the woods with bright red stairs, a journal, and cat claw marks, and possibly a deer carcass, run for your fucking life. Follow these simple rules, and little or massive harm may befall you. Either way, the important thing is to make sure your tale is told, copied, and pasted repeatedly, and also suggested to be read by Mr. Creepypasta. Doing so will ensure its epicness.